Hey, Trapper, I'm gonna move this over here.
Jack Potter was a man who knew his steers from the birdnests and their hairy tails to the ticks that gnaw their ears. He's a Mexican. He's a Texarkan and a cowhand to the saddle, bred and born. And he could count a trail head on the move and never miss a horn. But one day on the tally back in 1884, he got to acting kind of dreamy, and he sure did miss the score. Well, now the old man, he recognized the symptoms, said, Jack, you ain't no good like this. I'm going to give you 10 days to ride out and find out what's amiss. Well, amiss was just what troubled him, for he fell in love for sure to a gal named Courtship, who was pretty, sweet, and pure. So Jack rides out 100 miles, sweating at the thought of sweet some things to say to her the way a fella ought. Like, I'm just a humble cowboy, man. If you please, here to ask your heart and hand upon my humble knees. Sounded mighty simple verse on the trail, but when he got to Miss Cordy's door, the words all seemed to fail.
Steve!
It was, howdy, man. How's the drives, and how's your ma and pa? But when it came to asking her, he just couldn't come to talk.
He's like,
We went to a dance one night, and the pony she rode was his. What a dandy little horse, she said. And Jack replied, it is.
Yeah, well,
Now,
home maybe,
coming home,
I've often said you ought to get here and
just wondering if I missed something. No, okay.
They
They rode home late that night, and the moon was riding high. And Jack, he got to talking about the stars up in the sky and how they would guide a trail herd the same way they would a seagoing ship. But words of love and marriage just
Your
wouldn't
next drink's on
pass
me,
his way.
Trapper, here.
So he started talking about the horse she was riding. Said, you know, she's fancy gaited and never fights to keep her head.
Leave this here, I'll get you.
Sure is a dandy horse, she said. And she let out a sigh. And, oh man, I'm like, I just memorized this one. So, sure is a dandy horse, she said, and let out a sigh. And, well, Jack says, he could be your horse. I mean, that is maybe when I die. He was hoping she'd savvy his meaning and guess and give him the sweet answer that he longed for, namely, yes. But by the time he got back to the ranch house, he was still wondering how he'd ever pop the question. And he'd better do it now or he'd have to wait and sweat and suffer till the ride was done, till the ride was done in the fall. And then she might be married and he'd lose her after all. Well, they got to the ranch house, he took off the saddle, brought the pony out to the gate and said, guess I better drift it on along, man, because time's getting kind of late. And her eyes were just as bright as starshine, and her lips looked as sweet as flowers. And Jack said, well now, Miss Cordy, this here horse, is it mine or is it ours? And Jack said, and Cordy said, it's ours, Jack. And her voice was just as sweet as moss. And then Jack, he claims he kissed her, but she claims he kissed the horse.